Unity over division. In the village of Mamfe, nestled in the lush green hills of the southwest region of Cameroon, there lived a man named Ndip. He was a rich farmer, known far and wide for his vast plantations of cocoa and palm trees. To Ndip, wealth was not just about money or land, it was also about the number of wives a man could provide for. So, after marrying Bessem, his first wife, he decided to take a second wife, Enow, as proof of his wealth and power. At first, Bessem did not complain much. She had been married to Ndip for several years and had grown accustomed to his ways. But when Enow moved into the house, things changed. The two women never agreed on anything. From how to cook meals to how the children should behave, arguments flared daily. Ndip, proud and stubborn, refused to notice the tension in his home. He believed that having two wives under one roof showed his strength. Years passed, and both women bore children. Bessem gave birth to 4 daughters and a son named Ekema. Enow, too, had 3 daughters and a son named Agbor. In Mamfe, a male child was considered a father's heir, the one who would inherit his wealth and carry on his name. Ndip saw both Ekema and Agbor as his legacy, believing they would manage his plantations and expand his empire. But the seeds of hatred were already planted. Bessem and Enow often whispered poisonous words to their children, warning them against the other family. Ekema, Bessem would say, Agbor and his mother want to take everything your father has worked for. You must fight for your place. Enow would tell Agbor the same, fueling a rivalry that grew with time. By the time Ndip grew old and frail, the tension in his home had become unbearable. He could no longer work as he used to, so he handed over the management of his plantations to Ekema and Agbor. Instead of working together, the two sons constantly argued. Each believed the other was trying to cheat him out of their father's wealth. One day, Ndip called his family together. I am an old man, he said, his voice weak but firm. This land, these plantations, they are for all of you. Ekema and Agbor, you are brothers. Work together and keep our family strong. But his words fell on deaf ears. That night, Bessem and Enow each visited the local diviners, seeking powers to protect their sons and destroy their rivals. Bessem offered a goat to the gods of the forest, while Enow poured libations at the riverbank. Neither woman knew that their actions would awaken dark forces they could not control. Strange things began happening in Ndip's house. Pots fell off shelves without reason. The sound of whispers filled the air at night. Ekema's tools went missing from the farm, and Agbor's cocoa beans mysteriously rotted before harvest. Each family blamed the other, and the rivalry between the sons grew into hatred. One fateful day, the two brothers confronted each other in the middle of their father's largest plantation. You think you're better than me? Ekema shouted, his fist clenched. This land is mine just as much as it's yours. Agbor laughed bitterly. You're nothing without your mother's lies. You'll see who's truly the heir. The argument turned into a fight. Their workers tried to separate them, but it was too late. Ekema stormed off, vowing revenge, while Agbor returned home, his heart burning with anger. Bessem and Enow, seeing the animosity between their sons, did not try to make peace. Instead, they doubled their efforts to seek power from their gods. The house became a spiritual war zone, with charms hidden under beds and strange powders sprinkled on doorsteps. Even the villagers began to avoid Ndip's family, whispering that the household was cursed. One night, a terrible storm swept through Mamfe. Thunder roared, and lightning illuminated the dark sky. Ekema and Agbor, each determined to prove his strength, set out separately to claim ownership of their father's largest plantation. They met under the old baobab tree, where their argument reignited. In their fury, they didn't notice the storm growing worse. A sudden bolt of lightning struck the tree, splitting it in two and knocking both brothers to the ground. By morning, the villagers found their lifeless bodies beneath the tree. The news of their mysterious deaths spread quickly. When Bessem and Enow heard, they wailed in grief, each blaming the other for the tragedy. But their sorrow was nothing compared to Ndip's. The loss of his sons broke him. He suffered a heart attack and died just days later. With Ndip gone, the house fell into ruin. Bessem and Enow, consumed by guilt and sorrow, could no longer bear to live under the same roof. They packed their belongings and went their separate ways, leaving behind the once prosperous plantations to be reclaimed by the forest. The villagers of Mamfe often spoke of Ndip's family as a cautionary tale. Greed and division destroyed them, the elders would say. If only they had chosen unity, they would still be strong. Many years later, the overgrown baobab tree remained a silent witness to the tragedy. Its branches, twisted and broken, seemed to warn all who passed by, a house divided against itself cannot stand.